click on the record button right now. Okay. Alrighty, everybody, good evening. I am really excited to be with you guys. My name is Priscilla Allen. I'm a certified health coach with Optavia, and I've been coaching for a little bit over 3 years now. And I'm really excited and really honored to be with you guys here tonight to share a little bit about Chapter 3, actually. I know that Jamil posted on Healthy Habits with us. We're going to be talking about Chapter 2 on program, but we're actually going to be talking about Chapter 3, which is titled Motivation for Change. But before we do that, I want to share a couple of stories. We're going to talk to two people who are on program and, see what kind of transformation is already occurring in their lives. And I will share with you guys a little bit about me. So I actually came to this program 3 years ago, not through the weight loss portion of the program. You know that we coach healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. And 3 years ago, when I was a personal banker for a pretty big bank, I had a client walk in, and I saw an incredible transformation. I mean, this man had lost 100. He had lost 100 pounds in 7 months on program. But more than that, and his wife had lost 70. But more than that, I was blown away that he had been given the tools to actually maintain the weight. He had been given this amazing community. He had a coach. He had the fuelings. He had the habits of health system to really help him keep that weight off, right? And so I was intrigued. Because around that time, I was actually looking to find a different type of job. My husband and I were talking about getting pregnant, and I wanted to stay home with my babies. They are my pride and joy, and they also can drive me nuts, but they were my why. They were the reason why I wanted to coach, because I wanted to do something, first of all, that would impact lives. Like if I was going to stand behind an organization, it was because I was going to really stand behind their mission and what they represented. And so when Optavia came to my life, I was blown away by what it was. And it was a no-brainer. I told my husband, I'm going to coach and we're going to see where this is going to take us. And so it's been 3 amazing years where, we've been able to impact a ton of lives. What it's done to us, I'm what they call a skinny fat, where I can eat and eat and eat and I'll hide it under a large shirt, but nobody knows how I feel on the inside, And so with my second son, I lost 28 pounds in 13 weeks on a nursing mother's program. I'm not going to lie, it's been rough for me the last few pounds that I want to lose. I've been complacent. And, when we become health coaches, like we don't become health coaches because we're already there where we want to be. What I've seen in my journey is that when we become health coaches, we're there because we also want the accountability factor. We want the community. We want people to help us along the way. We want to invite people to our journey. And so that's why I told a few of you earlier today, I'm on day 3 today again on my program. We're going strong. I finally hit a fat burn this morning and I'm so, so excited. My daughter had picture day today, and at 6 in the morning, I'm doing my makeup and my husband's like, whoa, someone did hit fat burn this morning, And that's the beauty of this thing that, as coaches, we are not perfect. So if ever you think that you want to coach, and I just quickly want to throw this out there, if ever you think, hey, maybe I can do that, but I'm going to wait till I get to my goal weight, do me a favor and talk to your coach, and don't wait for that point, because it's never going to be perfect. I guarantee you that. As coaches, we come from all different backgrounds, and we come with a purpose to serve, to help others, and to also serve ourselves and to help ourselves as well. So today I want to go ahead and introduce you guys. I'm going to go ahead and give me 1 second. Okay. There you go, Kim. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys to somebody very special to me. Her name is Kim Robbins. Kim Robbins and I go way back, but she's going to go ahead and share with you guys what has happened to her in the last few months. Kim?
Hi, can you hear me okay? Yeah? Okay, perfect. So my name is Kim Robbins, and I'm 45 years old. I have 4 kids, and Priscilla, we've known each other for a long time, but my story goes back way far, long time ago when I was in junior high. I started struggling with my weight, and so I've been one of those people that have struggled with their weight their whole lives. And I've tried every single diet under the sun. I've tried juicing. I did a juice fast once. I've done counting calories. I've done 0 carb, which was a crazy diet where all I ate was steak. It was insane. But I've tried everything under the sun, just trying to lose the weight. and nothing worked. I would start off and be okay for a little while. Then as soon as I started getting unmotivated or super bored with just eating steak every single day, I would drop off and no longer continue the program. So by the time I called Priscilla, had reached the end of my doing it on my own. I came to realize that I couldn't do it alone anymore and that I needed help. And so she's my Facebook friend as well. And so she kept putting up these before and afters of her clients. And I was like, okay, those people look amazing. What is she doing? So I reached out, and it was probably the hardest thing that I've done so far in my weight loss journey all these years, was reach out and say that I needed help. But it was the biggest thing that had made a giant change in my life. So, so she gave me a call and she told me about the program, and I started it 3 months ago, and I absolutely love it. It's the longest that I've been able to stick to a program, and I think it's because the other things that I did before were always just like one thing, it was just the food, and it wasn't helping me with, my mindset, changing my mindset. It wasn't helping me with having that coach in my life. It wasn't giving me community of other people that were on my same team and needed the same kind of help that I needed. And so it was all the pieces that were put together that really like works. And that's why I've been able to stay on the program. It also, has increased my motivation of being able to, have my goals, have my mind set on my goals, and not just, what I need to eat. But one of the first things I read in the book that really changed my mind and the way I saw food was that our bodies crave fat and sugar. And so when we crave those things, it's just our body wanting it. And so that was such a big deal for me, because I always felt like I was a bad person because I wanted French fries, because I wanted to eat those bad things. But it wasn't that I was a bad person. It's just my body wanted those things because that's what we crave as human beings. And so that just made me feel so much better about who I was as a person, and then also gave me the ability to choose whether or not I was going to eat those things. So that was probably the biggest thing that I've learned so far on this program. So let's see. And also, so I've been on the program for 12 weeks. I'm down 30 pounds, which is amazing. I haven't been this weight probably since I have 4 kids. Like I said, my oldest is 18, and I haven't been this weight since before she was born. So it's been a long, long journey of, this gaining and losing the same 10 pounds over and over. And now finally, I'm in the direction and on the right journey, the path to health, that's going to keep me and on this path to reach the goals that I wanted to reach. So my biggest advice to people is don't ghost your coach. Stay connected to your coach. Stay connected to your community. Don't try to go and think that you could do this on your own, because you can't. That's why we're doing this program, like why it's not a diet. This is not a diet. This is a whole complete program that deals with every part of your being, and continues this on past getting to our goal weight. It's continuing onto this journey towards optimal health, and now I'm a coach and I love it. I have 8 people that I'm coaching, and the very first person that signed up is my sister Cece, and she's amazing. And I'm so proud of her. She's been on the program for 1 month so far, and she just loves it. And she probably, if you're in the community, you've seen her posts. She's super active in there, and she's always encouraging others. And she's just really great. So I want to introduce her. So go ahead and take it, Cece.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. So I came to the program through my sister. I have always had a very stressful job. I've always worked in technology, and it's extraordinarily stressful. And I chose it because I love it, but the stress had really gotten to me. And so I, like Kim, have always struggled with my weight also since junior high. And then recently with work, it was always just the stress that was piling the weight on. So over the summer, I reached my peak weight of 219 pounds, which was quite terrible. And then when I saw Kim post her success that she had had in just 7 weeks, she had lost 18 pounds, and she had this amazing picture, and she called me, and I was like, well, I can do it too. So I have been on the program for 1 month, and I started out at 215 pounds, and I am 200 pounds. So I've lost 15 pounds in a month, which is amazing. And I also have tried every diet on the planet. I've tried Weight Watchers, Atkins, juicing, which I did not like. And it was just so difficult to make any headway. And even if I did make some headway, I would gain back the weight because I would just let the stress of the day lead me to burritos or pizza or nachos or just anything to relieve the stress and anxiety of work. But now I have the program and I can do it at work, which is great. And if anyone asks what I'm doing, I just say, this is my food and I'm eating it and it's delicious and I'm happy. And people are noticing, which is nice. So the victories I've had over the past month are really enormous. One is my anxiety has decreased. I mean, I don't think my job is ever going to be less stressful, but definitely being able to breathe easier in my clothes is huge. Having everything fit looser in addition to the scale victory. I've stopped biting my fingernails. I used to bite them terribly. So I think that maybe I'm getting more nutrients or something. Or I also stopped putting salt on my food. I used to just salt everything within an inch of its life, but I don't do that anymore. So I feel like a part of this is that the food is really nutritious and it's giving my body everything that I need. And then the new habits are definitely drinking more water. I don't put creamer in my coffee anymore, which I never thought was possible. And I don't go to sleep every night feeling guilty about my day. I used to go to sleep and think, I can't believe I messed up again. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to wake up tomorrow and figure it out again, and just not feeling guilty about eating food, not feeling guilty about the food that I'm consuming. I was out to dinner with Kim on Saturday night with friends and family and just focusing on people and conversation and being present and not worrying about food and not worrying about ordering food. It takes off a huge amount of mental stress. So I feel like I have my mind and my life back because I'm just not worried about anything. I'm just taking that step, leaping, and it's working. And I'm really happy. And the advice I would give to anyone who's starting is don't worry about the food. Not all of it is perfect, but some things are really delicious. You'll find the things that you love. For me, it's the chocolate brownies. And I'm excited to try the new cinnamon sticks. And there's over 70 fuelings to choose from. So if you don't like something, you'll find something that you like, but that's not the point. The point is, what is your why? And my why is to be present for my friends and family, and also to dance longer and better. I'm a swing dancer, and it's really hard to swing dance when you're heavy. So the more weight I lose, the better I'll be at dancing. But I can't say enough good things about the program. It's fantastic. It's not that difficult. And just find your coach in your community and you'll succeed.
Nice. Thank you so much, Cece. That is so awesome. And I just love your transformations. And that's why I'm like so hooked on coaching, because, I tell people at the end of the calls when we do these health assessments, like, your life is literally going to change before my eyes. And I cannot wait for that to happen. And, seeing both of you guys, where you've been to where you're at today, is just, I don't know, it's so fulfilling to me. And it changes my life too a little bit every time I get to help somebody else change their life as well. So thank you for that. So today we want to focus on chapter 3 in your books. How many of you have already read chapter 3 anytime soon? If you can put a 1 in the chat, go ahead and put in 1 if you've read it recently. I'd love to see how many of us have read it. Perfect. So there's a few of us that have been reading it. Okay. So honestly, this is my favorite chapter, I think, in the very first section of the book. Motivation for Change is honestly one of my biggest, is I think one of the best, if not my best, actually, chapter. And the reason is because, as I read this chapter earlier today, it kind of reminded me about my why, right? We've all gotten onto a health assessment with somebody, with a coach, and that's why you're here today. But let me ask you this. when you got on this call and you finally hit that part, that breaking point in your life where you were just like, I just need to call, like for Kim, I just need to call Priscilla. I need to know what she's doing. Why was it that she got to her point? What was her breaking point, right? And when we talked about her breaking point, she said, Priscilla, I'm just tired. I had a health scare last year. My back is killing me. My knees are killing me. And these are not all of Kim's, I'm just kind of starting to say examples of things of what I hear normally, my knees are hurting so bad. My back is killing me. Like, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. And we're trying to solve a problem. We're trying to fix a problem. And that's the motivation. That's the reason why you reach out to someone, because that is exactly what we're trained to do. As humans, we're conditioned to fix problems and to fix something. And so when something's going on in your life and you're just like, I can't anymore, I've hit rock bottom, I need to seek help. I need the help that I really need. Boom, you reach out to somebody that knew about program and you're like, tell me what you're doing, because I don't know. I just can't do this anymore. What are you doing? So every time I get on these health assessment calls, it's common when I hear things like, well, my knees are hurting. I can't roll on the floor with my kids anymore. I have high cholesterol. I have a sleep apnea machine I'm using these days, right? And that at the moment is the motivation for change. People want to change because they want to change that current state, that current condition in their lives. But guess what happens as well? As humans, as we start seeing changes and, we start adjusting to a lifestyle and a routine, sometimes we can forget our motivation. Sometimes we forget why we started. Sometimes it's like, I forget that I have a knee problem, or I forget that I have type 2 diabetes. And we kind of start putting things in the back burner, right? And what Dr. Anderson talks about on chapter 3 of the book is that, if we saw our motivation, like not as a problem solving situation, but more as a desired outcome of something that you want, oh, how things would be different. So think about it this way. Problem solving, you're here and you're like, I have all these problems. These are the things that are happening in my life. And this is why I need to change, because I can't stand my knees, because I can't stand my high cholesterol, because I'm insecure, because of this, because of that. Versus, I want to play with my kids. I want to roll around in the dirt. I want to swing dance. I want to do this. I want to go rock climbing. I had a client that, when she started program, it was like, I'm 100 pounds overweight. I have really bad type 2 diabetes, and I have this and I have that. But towards the end, when she was 8 months in the program and we were almost 100 pounds, she said, I want to go skydiving. I want to go skydiving, and I want to go rock climbing, and I want to do all these things. And that was more midway her program, that she said that. And how different is the perspective? You know what I'm saying? How different is it to think, I want to climb on these rocks. I want to go skydiving. I want to swing dance. I want to do this. I want to feel sexy again. I want to put on these nice, cute little jeans, versus all the negative that's ranting in our mindsets. How different it is. And so Dr. Anderson talks about something we call structural tension, right? So you're in your current reality, and then there's a place that you want to get to. There's a place you want to get to. We're not looking at the back. You already came from back there. That's why there's a saying that says, right, the rear view mirror is small and the windshield is big, because that, you guys, is the past. All of that you felt, the type 2 diabetes, the high cholesterol, the knee pressure, all that stuff, that's in the back. You got to see that through the rear view mirror. What's in front of you now? What do you see for yourself? Where do you want to be 8 months from now when you're 100 pounds lighter? What do you want to do? And sometimes we think so much about other people, which is great, but what do you want? I always ask my clients, what do you want? What's on your bucket list? What do you want to do that you've been always afraid to do? Like, what is it, And you got to let that draw you. So now we're thinking about motivation for change, not because we want to change something behind us, something negative, but because we want to change, because we want to go somewhere. We have a desired outcome. We have an end goal that we want to get to. Does that make sense? Can I get a thumbs up if that makes sense? Yeah. Okay, awesome. So that's the reason why we need to shift our perspective. So today, if you really analyze your why and you begin to think, well, why did I talk to my coach about this? Like, why did I say I wanted to do this? And yes, those may have been all the reasons why you decided you want to come to this. Now I challenge you guys and I encourage you guys to look forward and be like, what do I want now? What does, I'm going to start calling out names. What does Karen Wagner want? What does Debbie Perea want? What does Abigail Garcia want? Like, what do you want now? What's in your bucket list? What's been a desire? What's been a dream? What's been a wish? Do you want to roll around the dirt with your kids? Do you want to climb on playgrounds with them? And now you're changing for those reasons. So one of the things that's really important for us, starting our health journeys, is that it's important that we are brutally honest with ourselves, you guys. We have to be brutally honest. And I know that that is one of the hardest things that we can do. I've had people that are 100 pounds overweight, 120 pounds overweight, and they tell me, well, overall, I'm pretty healthy. I'm pretty healthy, but, I like my wine, or I like this. And I'm thinking, you have a long journey to go, and sometimes I think it's hard for us as humans to really sit down and see the reality of what our condition really is. But you got to practice being honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, how are we, first of all, as coaches, going to be able to help you, but how are you going to be able to help yourself if you're starting from here when your reality is really back here? So there's so much that we need to work towards. And the more you practice honesty with yourselves, the more you're honest and honest and honest with yourself, it just becomes a habit. And that's actually a habit of health. Being honest. Like, I know that there's certain diets out there that tell you, oh, we try not to focus on the scale. We don't want to focus on the scale because that's a boohoo. That's a negative thing. But guess what? The scale kind of keeps you accountable. I tell my clients on maintenance, hey, you want to weigh in every Sunday because you want to know where you're at. You want to know what your week's going to look like, and so many people are like, no, we don't want to touch the scale. But it's that accountability factor. We want to keep ourselves accountable. You want to keep yourself accountable. So I challenge you guys, and I encourage you guys to really see where your starting point is. And we all need a starting point. Sometimes there's people that tell me, I don't want to weigh in on my first day because I already know I'm overweight. But I'm like, then how are we going to celebrate the victories if we don't have a starting point? It's important to have a starting point. It's important to have a before and after, because as you go and as you're conquering mountains, and as you're like going up and you're raising yourself and you're becoming better every single day, a better version of you, as this is happening to you, you want to know where you came from. You want to see how long you've been, because when you're halfway your journey and you may fall and you may say, oh my gosh, I don't know that I can keep going. You can turn around and be like, I've done all that. But it all comes down to how honest you are with yourself. It's important that we are honest with ourselves from where we start. So ultimately, I think the biggest reason of why, we're all right here on this call is because we all are striving for optimal health, right? What does optimal health look like for you guys? Optimal health can look different for everybody. For me, optimal health is I want to lose 10 more pounds. I want to feel comfortable in my pre-baby weight. I want to be able to, I don't know, wear like these cute little tight dresses. I know it sounds crazy and maybe a little bit whatever, but I want to feel comfortable in them, and what else is optimal health for me? Because I see it as a trilogy. Optimal health for me as well is the financial freedom that I have. And so it may be different for me. It may be different for Cece. It may be different for Jasmine. It may be different for Yadira. Everybody has their own unique optimal health. And what is it for you? And I challenge you tonight to sit down and write down what that is. Now, when you have that optimal place you want to be at and you're here, your current reality, there's something in between Dr. A calls structural tension. There's a tension. It's kind of like an arrow, like one of those arrow and bows, right? That tension that there is right there. And that tension is those action steps that are going to determine if you're going to get to that goal, if you're going to get to that optimal place or not. Okay? So it's important that we know that we start in a place and we want to get to point B. So we have choices. When you want to get to a place, we have 3 types of choices according to Dr. A. We have our fundamental choices, we have our primary choices, and we have our secondary choices, right? So we're going to talk about mainly the primary and the secondary because time is of the essence, and the fundamentals we'll talk about next week. But your primary choices are basically the things you want, the non-negotiables. That means, what is it that you want? I'm going to kind of throw Cece out there right now because we did a health assessment with her. But Cece told me during our health assessment, I would love to go to a swing dancing contest. And I said, really? I said, when? Sometime I'd love to do that. Okay, but when do you want to go? Well, sometime next year. Okay, when next year? When is the next contest? So she looks it up. She goes, I think it's in August. Okay, so we have a goal. Our goal is that we're going to get you to a certain place with your health so that when you dance in that contest, you are going to knock everybody's socks off. Like, that is going to be our goal. But do you see how, that's a choice for her. Like, she decided, I want to do this. She really detailed down what the choice was. I want to do this. And that's one of her many choices, right? That's one of the many things that she wants. But these are the non-negotiables for Cece. These are the things that are non-negotiable to her. So today I ask you, what are your non-negotiables? What do you want to see out of this program? Is it a diet for you because you're going to Vegas next week? Or is this actually a lifestyle change? What do you want? Where do you see yourself 6 months from now? What do you want to do? Do you want to go skydiving? I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to go bungee jumping? Set a date, set a time for what you want and reverse engineer from there. So that's going to be your primary choice, what you want, the non-negotiable. The secondary choices are the small daily action steps that you decide to take every single day to get to that long-term goal, to get to that place you want to get to that, what was it that I called it earlier today? It was that desired outcome, right? So now it's the small habit, it's those small choices. So now when we see things like that, it's like we're not looking at the negative anymore, we're looking forward, right? So say, for instance, the book gave an example of the banana split, right? It talks about how someone has a temptation with the banana split. So you have the temptation of the banana split, but then you also have your long-term goal. But then you're like, I want that banana split so bad. I want that banana split. And then you begin to think about it and you're talking to yourself, well, what do you want more, Priscilla? Do you want optimal health? Well, if you eat that banana split, you're going to kick yourself out of fat burn, Priscilla. And what's going to happen? I mean, yes, I'm going to enjoy my banana split right now. My eyes are always bigger than my stomach. Doesn't it happen to you guys that when you eat something, you're like, oh, it wasn't even as good as I thought it was going to be anyway, right? I see a lot of you laughing, and it's true because your eyes are always bigger than your stomach. You're like, oh, I want, right? I love to tell that to my daughter. And then once you put it in your mouth, you're like, oh, that was it. And then you forget about what you ate, but then come weigh-in day, you're like, oh yeah, I had the banana split 4 days ago, right? Those are the things that happen. So in your mind, you have to create these dialogues and speak to yourself. What is your desired outcome? What do you want? What is your goal? Not, I don't want my knees to hurt anymore. I don't want my lower back to hurt, so that's why I'm not going to eat the banana split. No, where do I see myself going? No, man, I already said in 6 months, I'm going to be rolling down that hill with my son, or I'm going to run that triathlon with my sister, or I'm going to do this. So you know what? Adios, banana split. And then what comes out of your mouth? No, thank you. I'm good. I'm all right. Right? So these are the things that we need to change in terms of our motivation. If you are still stuck to, and there's nothing wrong, mind you, when you got on a call with your coach and you said, these are the reasons why I want to change, there's nothing wrong with that. We have to hit rock bottom to want to get out of there. Right? So we have to be honest with ourselves and see where we're at. But then we got to shift our perspectives and be like, okay, now what do I want? And that's what I love to do. I love to dream with my clients, right? And I'm sure your coaches do the same thing. After you find out what that why is, then I ask, so tell me, what are these 80 pounds? What does that mean to you? What would be different for you? What would change for you? How would your relationships change? What would you do if tomorrow you woke up and you were 80 pounds lighter? What would you do tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? And it causes you to think, and it causes you to think and think. And you're like, well, now I'm starting to turn the wheels because I'm just aching here. I'm just in pain, So my encouragement to you guys is, if that is still your why, because I don't want to hurt anymore, because I need to control my diabetes, I encourage you guys to sit down tonight and dream. What do you want to do? What did little Yadira want to do when she was 5 years old or 8 years old or a teenager? What did you want out of life? What did you want? And begin to dream again and make that a choice. Make that something, because you deserve it. Every single one of us on this call deserve what you want out of life. You know, sometimes life throws curveballs our way and everything, but hey, that's why we have this community. That's why we have our coaches. That's why we're working on ourselves consistently. But I encourage you guys to analyze what you want, and then, you know, create a tension chart. Chapter 3 will tell you how to create this chart for yourself, or it may be chapter 4, you know, but you're going to learn how to create these action steps, which are your secondary choices. Why you choose every day to stick to the 5 and 1, why you choose every day to drink your water, why you choose to avoid that banana split, why you chose not to go to Starbucks this morning and get that vanilla frap that you really, really wanted, right? It's going to help you because now you're looking at a desired outcome versus trying to fix a problem in life. So that's what I have for you guys in chapter 3. It was rather a little short, sweet chapter, but I absolutely love it because I really think that when you are motivated, that is definitely a crossroad in your journey. Whatever your motivation is, that's going to be a crossroad. And you have to define what you want out of this program. You have to define what you want out of life. We already know what is back there. That's forget it in the past. You're driving and you're looking through that rearview mirror and you're seeing that in the past. What do you guys want? Look through the windshield and what do you guys want? And I encourage you guys to write these things down and create a structural tension chart for it. So I am going to stop the recording right now. Let me go ahead and stop this.